So we just finished up one of the biggest launches that we've ever done at the agency for one of our clients. In the couple of weeks that the launch ran, we did over 500K in cash collected, and we did over $1 million in total sales volume. Now, out of that $1 million, we generated about $330,000 of it from paid ads strictly to a cold audience. And to generate the 330K, we spent just over $30,000 in ads. So we got a total cash ROAS of 4.5 and a total sales ROAS of 9.8. Now, the cool thing is that this launch process was actually something different compared to what we've done previously. And I don't see many people launching their products in this way. Everything from the way we ran the ads, to the way we nurtured the leads, to the way we closed the leads, to the offer, everything was actually quite counterintuitive based on what the rest of the market teaches. So what I thought it would be cool to do is do basically a 3 to 4 part YouTube series where I actually just break down the entire launch process in detail. So I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm going to dive into the ad account. I'm going to show you what type of ads we ran, why they worked, why some didn't. I'll show you the amount we spent. I'll show you the lead cost. I'll show you the conversions. And then over that 2 to 3 week period where we nurtured the leads and closed the leads for over $1 million, I'll show you exactly what we did at every single step. So if you don't want to miss any of the videos in the series, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, we can dive into part 1. So I'm going to quickly run through the entire plan on the screen here right now, but just so you can see the final numbers. So this number here, this 504, this is the total cash collected after we accounted for any refunds after the deadline or any discounts that we gave to existing customers. And then the number on the right here, which is $1,032,838.50. That is the total revenue. So if all the payment plans come in, it accounts for over $1 million, which is cool. $500,000 cash collected, over $1 million in total revenue just from the 3-week launch. Now you can see the numbers on the screen right now. I'll actually pop into the actual account. So you can see this was from the time period of May 29th, 2023 till June 9th, 2023. And you can see here that's the total number. Now there is a bit of discrepancy or difference between the final cash collected and then the net revenue inside of the account. Basically, this 504,000 again accounts for any discounts that were issued after June the 9th. And then also Thrivecart, the way it works with the net revenue is that this actually takes off any payment processing fees. That's why it says net, because obviously it doesn't take off ad spend or anything like that. So fact of the matter is the 504,000 is the final number cash collected after any refunds or anything like that. So this is the true number. And then obviously the payment processing fees would be taken off this as well, but that's just standard business, right? So final number is 504,000, which is cool. And then the final number for this, if the payment plans come in, is obviously going to be $1 million, which is great. Now, the cool thing about the launch is that it didn't follow just your standard launch process. So typically what people do, maybe they'll do like a 3-day launch, a 5-day launch where they'll go live for like 5 days and then they'll sell on the 5th day, or maybe they'll do a webinar or something like that, or maybe they'll do like, I don't know, like a wait list and then open it up for a few days and people can join. There's lots of different popular ways to launch. I suppose Jeff Walker's launch process is the most popular way, where you do like a 5-day challenge effectively, and then you sell on the final day. What we did is we actually did something completely different, where we basically launched a free course. Now, the free course was a 3-week course. So it was a free 3-week course. And we were basically, the angle was, hey, we're looking for free beta testers to come and join the course for free, go through the entire course. And then all we ask at the end is that if you enjoyed it, you got value from it, then just leave us a good review. And then also throughout the time you're in the program, just give us some feedback, fill out some feedback forms and give us some feedback. And the goal is basically obviously for them to go through the 3 weeks. And then in the final week, we pitched them the 12-month coaching program. So it was a end-to-end 3-week process, but then it lasted a bit longer once we were selling. So probably like 3.5-week process. And then we were advertising for about 2 weeks beforehand. So it was about around a month, all in all, the entire launch it took us. But obviously the actual 3-week beta test group was 3 weeks long. And I'll go into all the details as well, but I just wanted to give you a quick overview. So this is kind of like mapped out everything. So the goal is in this to give you a quick overview of everything. And then over the next couple of days in the different videos, I will dive deeper into each individual part of the launch process. So let's start with the traffic then. So the traffic was pretty simple. It was just Facebook ads, which were obviously paid. It was social media, so promoting from the client's socials, and then also the email list as well, which was obviously all organic. Now, the traffic for the paid ads, the interesting thing here is we didn't actually use a funnel. So we didn't build like a sales funnel for this. It was purely just the lead forms. So in Facebook, the lead forms where they click, it pops up, it asks for their name and email address. We asked them a few questions as well, because the goal here is that they actually apply. So the whole thing was apply to be a beta test group member. So they click the lead form, it asks them a few questions, they enter the name and email address, and then it pops up with like a thank you message, your application has been submitted. And then we email them like an hour afterwards being like, hey, you've accepted. And then we send them all the links to the stuff, which I'll run through in a second. So that was how we promoted via ads. Then social media, so basically it was just Instagram and YouTube, but mostly Instagram from the social media. It wasn't like super heavy social media. It was mostly paid ads and then the email list. But social media basically pushed them to this application form. So we just built obviously we used a lead form for the ads, but for the organic stuff, we created a jot form and it just had like 4 or 5 questions on it. Same process, few quick questions. Hey, your application has been submitted. Then we had email list. So we actually had 4 email lists, which sounds like a lot. There was basically, because the way this works is that there was 3 business partners, and the actual business that we were helping, they had its own email list. And then obviously the 3 business partners had their own individual lists. The main list though was the current business one, because the 3 people, the 3 business partners for the clients, their own individual email lists, it's kind of in the same niche as the joint business, but it's not exactly the same. So a lot of the traffic from email came from the actual business account, like the joint one. The individual email lists, yes, they sent some emails, but it wasn't a super heavy promotion. So mainly the traffic was coming from ads, and I'll run through the total lead numbers and stuff as well in the second video when I talk about traffic. So mostly from the ads, and then mostly from that one main email list of the current business. And then basically what we did is we, like I said, drove everyone through to an application, and then everyone was basically going to get it accepted. You know, we didn't have any logic or anything installed to reject anyone. But basically after about an hour, we obviously set this up in Zapier, an ActiveCampaign. After about an hour after they had applied, we sent them an email being like, hey, you've been accepted. Here's how to access everything. So there was 3 components really of the launch process. There was school, there was the Facebook group, and then obviously they got put on an email list as well, right? So if we look at the notes here, school, this is where the course content happens. So I'll run through exactly what happened in terms of the course content, but we didn't use school for community. We only used school to host the course, which is a bit strange because we had to like train people, obviously, and like had messages saying, hey, don't post in the community part. But we used school because number one, we were already using it, and it's a really good like course layout, and it's nice and easy to use. School also has the calendars as well, which were important, which I'll talk about in a second. But we disabled the community, so there was no community part here. We actually held the community in the Facebook group. So that's where everyone who got accepted got access to the course, but also got sent to the beta test Facebook group. Inside of the Facebook group, we had watch parties where we played like replays of the live sessions, and we actually streamed the live sessions inside of the Facebook group during the launch as well. And I'll talk about these in a second. And then also we use Facebook for notifications. So like, Hey, we're going live at this time. Hey, the next session starts at this time. Hey, week one's content is live. And then we had the email list. Obviously, everyone who got accepted got put on an email list, and we emailed them basically with notifications, the exact same thing that I just mentioned, getting people to consume the course content and getting them to show up to the live sessions. So they're the components of the funnel, I suppose. Then when we basically launched, so we promoted for about 2 weeks before we accepted people, or before it started, sorry. And basically the week before, we opened up the Facebook group and got everyone inside of the Facebook group. Obviously, everyone who got accepted, we emailed them being like, hey, join the Facebook group, join the Facebook group. We basically said to them, to take part in the beta group and get free access to the program, you need to be inside the Facebook group, because this is where a lot of the magic happens. So we started promoting about 2 weeks out. I believe like 5 days before we launched or it started, we opened up the Facebook group, drove everyone in there. And then on week one, day one, then it started. Then the free week started. So basically what we did is on week one, on that Monday, we released the course content. And then throughout week one, they would and it was like a proper course. It wasn't just like a video lesson. It was like 8 to 10 lessons long. Each had a video. So this was a proper course. It wasn't, just like we weren't just taking, it wasn't like a 3-week challenge or something where like, one video lesson which lasted 45 minutes and that was it. Like it was a proper full-on course that the client filmed beforehand. And I think that's obviously why it worked so well. So that was released on the Monday. And then throughout the rest of the week, there was at least a couple of live sessions. So there was like a live session on the Monday, and then I think on like the Wednesday, on the Saturday. So maybe on average, it's about 3 live sessions a week, plus the course content, plus the watch parties, which was basically like a rerun of the live sessions. So say the live session started at 9 a.m. The next day in the evening, we would run like a replay of it, and we basically like restream it back into the Facebook group for people to watch. Then week 2 was exactly the same. The start of week 2, we now start week 2 of the courses live. That showed up in school. Again, it was a full program. And then the same thing with the live sessions and watch parties. And then week 3, we had basically no course content. It was live sessions. And the guys went live multiple times a day throughout the 7 days. Like not every day they went live twice, but it was at least 1 live session a day for 7 days. And then even sometimes they went live twice. So a lot of lives in that final week 3. And basically at the start of week 3, we started pitching. So we opened up enrollment on that first day of week 3. So week 1 and week 2, purely value. Week 3, the live sessions, yes, we had topics that we were teaching about and we were giving value, but we were also like heavily pitching the program. And then obviously that turned into profit. So just having a look at the weekly content, and then like I said, week 1 and 2, they were full-on courses with lots of different videos, but for the most part, they focused on mindset. So they focused on breaking the beliefs of our prospects and shaping their new identity. This was basically turning them into an entrepreneur. It was shaping their mind to think and act like an entrepreneur. So then obviously once we pitched them, hey, come and join the program, they were like, yes, I can do this. The beliefs had been broken. Maybe I'll talk more about that in the 3rd video of this series when I go through this more, the actual weekly content in detail. But it was about breaking beliefs, shaping their identity as an entrepreneur, so then they would feel empowered to invest in themselves and their business at the end. And then the live sessions, like I mentioned, was basically extra coaching. So going in deeper into the topics that was discussed in the course, and then doing a Q&A as well. And then like I said, watch parties were basically just live replays of the sessions. And then we answered any questions in the comments. So we would stream it back live inside of the Facebook group. And then we'd have someone in the comments answering questions. If anyone was watching and they had any questions, we would answer them and like coach them through there as well. So a lot went into it. It was very intense. There was a lot of live sessions, a lot of prep beforehand, getting basically the course ready. Because again, it wasn't just a few crappy videos, full-on course that we created that we gave people access to. And then we also actually had, you know, again, we were actually getting feedback on the course as well. So we had in week 1 and week 2 in the course area, we had like feedback forms and stuff where people would submit their feedback. And then we would obviously at the end in week 3, we pitched. Now, again, in one of the later videos in this series, I'll run through the offer and the sales process more deeply. But the offer was basically, we had 2 offers. So it was both for 12 months coaching. We had group study and we had VIP. So group study, you had another course. So not this course, but like the main course that they've had before. You had the community, which they have, which was on another school group, like a private one for the private clients. Then they had 2 coaching calls a week. And then they had like a bunch of bonuses as well. VIP, it had the course, it had the community. They got the same 2 coaching calls every single week, and they had the same bonuses. But if you upgraded to VIP, you would get a one-on-one session with one of the guys, right? So a private one-on-one session. You would get access to an in-person mastermind twice per year. So over the 12 months, you get 2 in-person masterminds. You'd also get an 8-week accelerator course. So on top of the 2 weekly coaching calls, you would also ask for the first 8 weeks after you join, you would have basically like an extra 8-week accelerator program, which is essentially just 8 weeks of coaching, like extra coaching on top of what they're already getting. And then after that 8-week finished, you would get a bi-weekly VIP call, which would obviously be more intimate, because with the numbers we're talking about, I need to actually get the final numbers up. I'll mention it in one of the next videos because I can't remember off the top of my head. But obviously with these type of numbers, we had like 300 or 400 sales. So a lot of people, obviously not everyone went for the VIP. So the VIP was a way to get like more intimate coaching. And then just so you know, the group study was 2K and the VIP was 5K. So in the next few videos, I believe, as I'm filming this, I believe there's going to be 3 videos after this. So there's going to be 4 in total. This is obviously the overview video. Then I'm going to do 1 video on the traffic. So running the ads, getting the registrants, what that looked like. I'll dive into all the numbers. I'll go inside the ad account and show you how much we spent, what our lead cost was. I'm not going to hold anything back. I'm going to show you everything. Then the video after that in the series, I'm going to basically overview this. Basically what this process actually looked like on the inside, what live sessions we did, what did we do in the sessions, like how did we put it all together. And then the final videos of the series, I'll go over sales week. I'll give you like a full breakdown of these numbers, how many sales we made, etc., etc. I'll show you the flow. What did we do throughout open cart week to generate so many sales? So yeah, looking forward to breaking it down in more detail. I'll be releasing these over the next week. So if you would like to get reminded, then obviously you can just subscribe to the channel and make sure that you get notified when these go live. Because I don't honestly believe that there's anyone really on YouTube going into this much detail and showing so much behind the scenes. Maybe there's a good reason for that. Maybe I'll regret it in the future. I'm not too sure. But, you know, for most of the stuff on YouTube is very fluffy, face to camera stuff. Like, you know, here are the 5 tips to, you know, become a 1% man or something, or some BS like that, right? Which, you know, that sort of content is fine. But I don't believe there's that many people actually going deep into, hey, this is the actual strategy, and showing you behind the scenes, showing you inside ad accounts. It's crazy how many like advertising channels there are out there where like, okay, they might show a few screenshots here and there, but for the most part, it's just them talking to the camera and not actually showing you what they actually do inside the ad account, which I don't want to do. So like I said, the next video, so make sure to subscribe if you want to get that notification when that goes live. I'll be going inside the ad account, showing you exactly what we did to generate the leads. I think we had over 8,000 leads in total from the ads. We spent like 30K on ads. I'll show you the ROI that we got. I'll show you pretty much everything. So I'll keep the client confidential, of course, but the actual strategy and stuff, I'll show you everything. So yeah, make sure to subscribe if you want to get the notifications for those videos, and I'll see you soon.